All right, and we're back here on Wrestling Nostalgia. I am your host, Dave Dynasty, and it's my honor to be joined by Steve Keirn. Before we dive into your career and everything else, I just got to ask you right up front. I don't know if you've heard the news. Hopefully I'm not breaking this to you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
just today,
I know.
Terry Funk passed away.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your feedback, man. This is not just this is Terry Funk. This is something else.
Well, this is kind of hard because Ted DiBiase is who called me.
Yeah.
And Teddy and I are real close. And I knew, Terry had a lot to do with his career. And so he called me and told me, and I hadn't been on the internet all day long, so I really wasn't aware of it. But almost every day I hear some news. And then I also saw where Abe Jacobs had passed away, and I was familiar with him too. But, when Terry Funk first started getting sick and started getting put into retirement home, and then needed assistance and everything. Number one, his wife had passed away.
Yeah.
And so the same scenario with Harley Race, who was another one of the greatest, and taught me so much. Both of these guys were NWA World Heavyweight Champions, and I wrestled them both. And at a peak of my career, long before I went away and did the Fabulous One gimmick or skin or anything, but at the peak of my career, when I was really in my heyday, in my late 20s, I'm wrestling Terry Funk and Harley Race. And to see them in similar was kind of sad because of the fact that both of them's wife died prior to them dying. Then they slowly kind of like got a little bit more disabled. Then it was like things like Alzheimer's hitting them. And then I can remember going up to Harley, and he was in a wheelchair. And, I loved Harley to death. he was so instrumental in my career. And, hey, Harley, how's it going? He looked at me, he just goes, who are you? I'm going, sad. But
yeah.
here's what I said to Ted. For the fans that are listening, I hope they get this. It's not that this is a bad thing, but they're both in better place. And I'm a Christian, and I'm a follower of Jesus, and so is Ted DiBiase. And one thing for sure, 1 out of 1 people are going to die, and it's just when. But in the condition they were in, their quality of life wasn't what it used to be, and it's sad. But at the same time, to me, I smiled because I'm thinking, Terry probably a lot happier. He just saw his wife, and he's in heaven, and instead of an old folks home trying to figure out where the hell he's at. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Terry, and I got a lot of Terry Funk stories. I taught him how to scuba dive when I was only 16 years old. I used to pick the guys up from the airport here. Eddie Graham gave me a job. He kind of took over a fatherly image for me because my dad was a prisoner in Vietnam, and he gave me a job picking up the wrestlers that flew in. And Terry was one that flew in, and he stayed in a really cheap hotel, but it had a swimming pool. And I said, I could teach you to scuba dive in that pool. and the look the guy gave me, and I was 16 years old, and he was just a kid too. And he's going like, really? And next thing I know, we're in a swimming pool, and like he's freaking out. It was like, it was really nothing, no big deal, but it was something I'd never forget in my life,
Yeah, that's right. You can't. Terry Funk had a full life. There's not many that's accomplished more than he did for as long as he did, and he did it his way, right? So
he'll often be imitated, but he'll never be duplicated.
Absolutely,
there'll never be another Terry Funk. He was like one of those guys, a 1 in a million. One of the guys that I grew up with here in Tampa that got into wrestling with myself and Austin Idol and Hulk Hogan and Mike Graham and Dick Slater. We all got in there together. But Dick Slater idolized Terry Funk and even imitated him.
Yeah.
He would do a lot of imitation Terry Funk stuff. The way he shrugged his shoulders, whatever it was. But I saw it because I knew Dick Slater since we were little kids. So you didn't do that when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I didn't mean to get up too far off.
No. That's what we're here for.